Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It's good to see you in the chair. As always, it's my great privilege to rise in the House on behalf of Burnaby Lougheed for the motion on the budget, calling on the government to recognize the cumulative effect of the increases in MSP taxes, hydro rates, ICBC premiums, and other fees and hidden taxes on British Columbians. Now, before I go on to comment on this amendment on the floor, I will take the opportunity to highlight the work my office has been doing for our constituents and communities at large. This 2016 provincial budget we've been debating in this chamber since last Tuesday are indeed about people, after all, how their hard-earned tax dollars is or isn't put to use for or not for them. These are all the things that we're deliberating on. So it's only pertinent that I take some time to respectfully report out on their return on investment into the operation in my office in Burnaby Lougheed. So, Mr. Speaker, everyone at my office, and I follow their example, we thrive on SMART goals. So that's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and with a timeline. We have a number of quantifiable performance indicators that we stick to in the office, like a number of constituent cases that we were successfully able to resolve, and community activities we were able to support in various ways. At the end of last year, as a part of our monthly communication to our constituents, my team reported out our numbers and stories from the first half of the term in office, and I would like to share some of those. It turns out that each day is so slow to pass in this job, but I think the years do end up flying. I can't believe that this is the fourth budget that I get to participate in debating on. And in that time, in the last 2.5 years, we served over 2,800 constituent inquiries. I attended 579 meetings, 356 events. And this is not just unique to me, this is probably common for all the members in this House, the hard work that we all do. And to the legislature, I had the privilege of welcoming nearly 900 British Columbians from all walks of life to visit their house, see and participate in the politics of our province. Over the last 2 years, we also had the privilege of assisting many wonderful individuals, organizations, and businesses. And I'll mention some, like Kyle Empringham with the Starfish Canada. It's a great nonprofit environmental group, youth-led, which we were able to connect to other partners and collaborators. I also want to mention Jacqueline Martin, who has several initiatives, but most recently Project Valentine's Day, which we were happy to sponsor as a group, as the group set out to help address one of the most fundamental challenges in our society, which is loneliness and social isolation. Businesses like Spacecraft in partnership with BOSA, whose community workspace and network lounge, as well as seminars and conferences that they regularly host, we were very happy to participate in promoting those, as well as the Lougheed Mall redevelopment by Shape Properties. We were able to encourage much more robust public participation for the public hearings. So fruits of these discussions and activities are several, such as the inception of our first multicultural communities reception, as well as facilitating the attraction of the $5 million tourist revenue to Burnaby with the 2016 World Junior Taekwondo Championship that's now confirmed to come to BC. The grand opening of a brand new lounge space made complimentary by New Vista Society for our veterans of the Korean and the Vietnam Wars to call home and to enjoy for themselves. And we also celebrated the proclamation of the Taekwondo Day in the city of Burnaby and North Vancouver. Now, as all members would agree, serving in office has its ups and downs and difficult moments, but we do have those times that make it all worthwhile. And my team is privileged to be able to assist our constituents, and I would like to share a couple of the success stories with happy endings. One of the constituents contacted us because she was having trouble getting approved for her BC bus pass through Ministry of Social Development and Social Innovation. She's a senior and she experiences memory loss, and she was struggling to follow through the steps over the phone and extended periods of time that she's put on hold over the phone, where she would forget what she was on hold for. And so we contacted the ministry on her behalf to find out the status of her application, sent them the necessary paperwork on her behalf, and now she has her bus pass, senior bus pass. When we spoke to her to get her permission to share her story, she asked us to add that, and I quote, "So many people like me, seniors, who used to be able to do everything, now just can't, and you don't know where to turn, especially if you don't have a partner. It's nice to know that there are MLAs you can turn to," end quote. So that was something that definitely brightened everyone in my office, our day, in the midst of everything that we were trying to do. We also assisted another constituent whose MSP was canceled due to missed payments, as he had been misinformed and he wasn't aware of the fact that there's a registration process that was required for his subsidy, which he was eligible for. So while he was able to pay out for out of pocket to see a doctor, but the lab simply wouldn't do any tests on him that he urgently needed without the MSP enrollment. So our staff, of course, helped him through his re-enrollment very quickly, and also got him on the premium assistance. So he went in for his tests as soon as we notified him that his MSP account was reinstated, and he had his pacemaker installed just shortly after. And he called us when he was discharged from the hospital to thank our staff. And in his words, he said, "Thank you for saving his life." So these are the moments that I think I'll remember and won't forget anytime soon, long after I leave this chamber. So now, all this, as we all know, would not be possible without the most dedicated, wonderful group of staff that all of us have as members at our constituency offices. And I too have my share of just incredible people that I have the privilege of working with. And so I would like to thank my staff, Morag Keegan Henry, Remy Glow, Michael Chang, Nicholas Page, and Sophie Jun, as well as my relief staff, Joseph Lee, Yumin Lee, and Robin Yu, our regular volunteers, Patricia McLaughlin and Annika Lee, as well as Tara Schusterian, Daniel Shim, and Tiffany Kim. I'd like to especially point out that Morag, who was our latest addition to the office to take over from our former CA, Crystal Smith, I have to give her a special mention as the newest addition to the office, that she demonstrates excellence in every way. Her ability to connect with the constituents and stakeholders, her efficiency in handling large volumes of work, meeting often very tight deadlines, her resourcefulness to leverage every available information and material that we can get our hands on to produce meaningful results, her articulacy in all her communication. There's just not an inch of mediocrity or complacency in this girl. And while it's a blessing for myself and Burnaby Lohi to have her in the office, I do look forward to, and I'm curious to see what big opportunities that may be ahead of her to put her skills and talents to use to touch more lives. And of course, also I'll be remiss if I don't point out my LA here in Victoria, Susan Basilev, who, with the House back in session, is kept incredibly busy with all the British Columbians I connect with and I invite over to the legislature to visit us. Our guests, every one of them, leave with very special memory of this place, and none of that would be possible without her hard work. So with all that said, now, Mr. Speaker, all in how I highlighted the work of my office, I used the words serving and assisting, and that's very intentional, as it is our job as MLAs to do just that. We are public servants, but none of us are serving for free. The taxpayers are paying us for it. The MLA offices are also not a place of charity where we lend or volunteer ourselves to come to aid for our constituents when and if we can, as some favor that we hand out on the side. Taxpayers pay for our operations to respond to and serve them, and that mandate is something that everyone in my office clearly understands.